Star Wars the last decade or so has been in kind of a disarray. That is largely because of Disney's just not really doing enough with the IP. They kind of threw it off to Electronic Arts, and then EA did absolutely nothing with it for about 8 or 9 years. Obviously, the exclusivity days are over. We have yet to really see any major releases yet outside of EA. That'll probably come in the next couple of years. I know Ubisoft is working on a big open world Star Wars game. We'll see how that turns out. And then there's obviously a KOTOR remake. Again, that's another thing that's had some development issues. So we'll see how all that turns out. But during the span of time that EA had its exclusivity, the one company that really came through was Respawn Entertainment. Jedi Fallen Order was a pleasant surprise. It wasn't a super long game, it wasn't really anything earth-shattering, but it was a Dark Souls-light experience that really clicked for me, and many others, because it received great reviews. And again, during the EA Star Wars days, there just wasn't a lot to look forward to. The Battlefront games had a lot of chaos, from the loot box disaster to the first game, which really lacked a lot of content. And then there's just a number of other projects that ended up being canceled. So Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order was a pleasant surprise. Jedi Survivor, once I saw that first trailer, I was all in. Now, finally here in 2023, we have the game's release. We saw a lot of positive reviews, a lot of people saying that this is one of the best Star Wars games of all time. That was music to my ears. The issue was that the one thing I wasn't seeing in the reviews from like the IGNs, GameSpots, and such were this. ACG, or Jeremy Penser, a phenomenal YouTube reviewer, saying, PSA, as it stands, all platforms have massive performance and bug issues, with crashing even occurring occasionally on the consoles for Jedi Survivor. This impacts the story, gameplay, functor, audio, everything. This is not just a PC thing. Patches are incoming. Yes, patches are indeed always incoming. That's how patches work. And that's good because the game is as close to not working as I've seen in a title nor review period since Days Gone. At this time, the actual game itself is severely impacted across all platforms by technical problems and impacts everything from story beats to voiceovers. This is completely unacceptable, and the fact that this is being compared to Days Gone is just astonishing, because Days Gone is probably one of the biggest examples of how not to launch a game. You probably could throw it up there with Cyberpunk 2077, and honestly, I thought this industry would learn a little bit from Cyberpunk, but I guess not, because in 2023, it just feels like every other AAA release we're having a launch disaster like this. We just talked about The Last of Us Part 1's horrible launch a couple of days ago in a news video. It really is astonishing how these AAA publishers are letting these games launch, and you're asking people to cough up $70 fucking, or sometimes 80 or even more when you include taxes, deluxe editions, and such. And yet the game quality in terms of like optimization just seems to be getting worse and worse. And I get it, these games are getting more and more complicated, but that's further reason why these games should be staying in the oven a little bit longer. And Jedi Survivor already got a short delay, I believe, and this really should have been delayed much longer. And I have been playing Jedi Survivor myself. I decided to play it on the Xbox Series X because I heard there was issues on the PlayStation 5. I heard there was issues on the PC. Hadn't really heard anything about the Series X, so I had to check it out for myself. First hour or so on the first planet, it was mostly fine. There was some FPS hiccups, but it was more than manageable enough. But when I got to that second planet, I think I have some of the gameplay I'll show on the screen. I'm trying not to show any spoilers and such, kind of the issue. But yeah, some of the cutscenes were glitching out. The cutscene would start and then it would repeat itself. Some of the textures was just not loading, pop-in and such. And then obviously the FPS drops were very noticeable when you got around in the open areas, in which the game felt like it was dropping to under 20. And there actually has been some videos some people have been sharing in which they compare the FPS between the PS5 and Xbox Series X. This is just unacceptable in my eyes. I believe this is coming from the YouTuber Gaming Techs. Here, let me show you.
So all these technical issues you have actually on both consoles. The only difference between PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X is that on the Xbox Series X you have much more technical issues than on the PlayStation 5. And there's a very weird behavior on the Xbox Series X, what I haven't experienced so far on the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, as you can see, it seems to be that the console to play this game on right now is the PlayStation 5. And yeah, this is kind of what I experienced a little bit myself. it's just, this is unfortunate. I am playing in performance mode. I do that with every game, and I can't get a steady FPS. And that's why I just said, I gotta wait on this. We'll see. Once the day one patch comes about, maybe I'll be good to go. The issue is the day one patch is already out. I didn't even know that. That was included when I downloaded the game, and that's just frustrating to me because now I'm gonna have to wait much longer, or endure this horrible FPS drops that I'm experiencing on console. Again, this is console. This isn't the PC version, which is an absolute mess, even more so than what I'm experiencing myself. And we had another YouTuber, Skillup. He brought this up in his own tweet saying, I'll have a Jedi Survivor review up later, but right now I can say that it's a great game that you should absolutely avoid if you're playing on PC. The port is a total mess, namely awful FPS performance that cannot be improved through any settings changes. It struggles to maintain 40 FPS on a 2080 Ti 3700X, and my 4090 5950X cannot maintain a solid 60 FPS. There's also a game-breaking audio bug at the moment that ruins every cutscene. And if you want to know what he's talking about, this is what he's referring to.
Here's how I watched about 80% of the cutscenes in this game.
Traffic. Looks like this portal's under maintenance.
As soon as we breach the surface, jump to light speed.
Took some hits back there.
Yeah,
Mind running diagnostics while I transmit the intel?
Yeah, as you can see, the audio is delayed. That's unacceptable, but this is how Jedi Survivor launched, a game that was delayed and needed to be delayed much longer. And if you actually head over to Steam, this is pretty much the story. Right now it has mixed reviews. Earlier in the day it was mostly negative, but it's up to about 40% positive, which I guess that's a good sign. I don't know. Really, we're grasping at straws right now. But these are the reviews. Star Wars CPU Survivor. Jesus. So far, the loading screen is pretty okay. I have no idea what it's like past the title screen because it doesn't load past that at the moment. RTX 4080, the specs, I can get around 30 FPS. Amazing. All these high-end rigs in this game is struggling so badly. Game is extremely fun, but it performs terribly. 3080 is not good enough to run the game, apparently. Runs like my ass after Taco Bell. That's one way to put it. Game performance is absolutely atrocious. Wait till it's fixed before buying. Not worth it. Furthermore, it is worth highlighting that some outlets are getting a little bit more specific with the issues that PC players are encountering, such as DSO Gaming saying Star Wars Jedi Survivor appears to have major CPU and VRAM optimization issues on PC. And they base us on a GameStar review in which they went over the specs and such. This was a high-end rig, and they say in the video we can clearly see the NVIDIA RTX 4090 being underused. The graphics card is used at around 35 to 60%. And because GameStar uses a MSI Afterburner overlay, we can see that the game's PC review build can mainly use 4 CPU threads, so I don't really know what is causing the CPU bottleneck. From the looks of it, the game does not rely on one CPU core thread like Gotham Knights or the Callisto Protocol, and PCM Race also reports that the game has enormous VRAM requirements, and RTX 3080 Ti is unable to run the game in 4K mainly due to VRAM limitations. And this is just astonishing, but the game is using up to 18 gigabytes of VRAM at 1440p. I've seen some people comparing this to just being as bad as Arkham Knight, and it may be on par with it, honestly. And it seems to be the consensus is, yeah, this game is really fun when it works, and it seems like that's something I've been saying about a lot of games as of late. But what I find astonishing about all of this is what EA was saying before this. We had Bloomberg publish this. EA's new Star Wars sequel was made in record time. Well, not a good thing. And then the games director saying, if anything, it's a testament to the team. Well, it definitely needed much more longer. I don't know why this game couldn't have come out a couple more months from now. I think this is just showing how EA wanted to push this out the door, and just the overall publisher mentality with release it and we'll fix it later. And again, you're asking people to cough up a decent amount of cash, and for some people, this is the only game they're going to be able to buy for the year. And to launch it like this is just, it's pathetic in my mind. And to further understand the issues, we also had Mudahar. He was talking about all of this. Let me show you, I'll give you an example of what he was going through. This is just another perfect example of what a lot of PC players are going through right now.
It isn't even funny anymore. We're on 768p, all right? We're counting the pixels. Low. Everything's low. All right, low, just like my will to live. No ray tracing. Even got the assist to ultra performance. Guess the performance. All right, we're getting close to the 60 there. All right, maybe one day.
Yeah, that's 20 FPS. That's more than enough reason to not play the game. That reminds me of Cyberpunk 2077 because that's what I experienced on PC. Mudahar also had a follow-up video. I thought I'd show this.
You know, I was just like having fun, laughing around, but I'm done at this point, dude. 22 frames, bro. Fuck Respawn, fuck EA. How they could sell this for $80.
Yeah, that's my point about this. This is something that they experienced. Their testers, everybody knew about this, and yet it was launched like this. We've also had other issues. It seems to be that HDR is messing up on this before, and then, yeah. This is just another example. There seems to be some fixes out there if you go on YouTube, so I guess that's a good sign. But still, this is just... It's astonishing that this is how it was released. Then Jedi Survivor on PC has so many issues. I am doubly happy that it thought my loading up on 2 different PCs was far too much for its Fisher-Price DRM. Yes, also it has de novo if you didn't know. Great news there. And this was pointed out, apparently, if you get too far, well, here, this is what Rebs Gaming points out on Twitter. 2 hours after Jedi Survivor release, the game already required players to download a patch to continue playing. Low FPS and poor performance. The game will literally tell you it's about to be broken by skipping story elements. And this is the notice. Proceed anyway. Continue in the broken state. This is not recommended. Things will likely be broken. Which, how do you let that happen? This just ruins a game that seems to be, it could be a Game of the Year contender. It's just, what a horrible mistake that EA and Respawn Entertainment made here, but not surprising because this is what we get out of this industry. And again, this game probably will go on to sell millions of copies because, well, we've seen other games such as Elden Ring that launched in a horrible state on PC, but again, because it was a great game, I guess it excused the nonsense that a lot of PC players had to go through for the first couple of weeks. Now, we did get a response from Electronic Arts. I don't even care about this, really, I'm going to be honest, because it's the same nonsense that we've been getting for the longest time. It's just, oh, we're so sorry, blah, 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 we're going to fix it eventually. Fuck that. I mean, I'm so tired of it. Every single time, I'm just expecting it. There's nothing here that's beneficial to me for now, or any of the PC players that right now are stuck at a loading screen or experiencing 20 FPS, but yeah, we're aware that Jedi Survivor isn't performing to our standards for a percentage of our PC players. No mention of console, though. In particular, those with high-end machines or certain specific configurations, which feels like them just trying to throw, oh no, it's just that small subsection of people, but no, it's widespread right now. For example, players using cutting-edge multi-threaded chipsets designed for Windows 11 were encountering problems on Windows 10, or high-end GPUs coupled with lower-performing CPUs also saw unexpected frame loss. Rest assured, we are working to address these cases quickly. While there is no single comprehensive solution for PC performance, the team has been working on fixes we believe will improve performance across a spectrum of configurations. We are committed to fixing these issues as soon as possible, but each patch requires significant testing to ensure we don't introduce new problems. Thanks for understanding, and apologies to any of our players experiencing these issues. We will continue to monitor performance across all platforms and share update timing as soon as it is available. Completely unacceptable bullshit statement here. We get this every single time a launch disaster happens. We just had it with Naughty Dog a couple of weeks ago. We'll probably have it in a couple of days or a couple of weeks again with a new release. This is just the expectation that so many people have, and it's become normalized in this industry. And for what it's worth, before we even got this statement, EA had announced on their Twitter account that they were planning weeks of Star Wars Jedi Survivor patches to fix bugs and performance issues. So it definitely seems like they were trying to get ahead of the inevitable uproar that they were going to receive for the poor optimization that we are seeing with Survivor on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X, all of the platforms that this game has released on. And among the issues that have been highlighted, we do have some outlets such as Windows Central noting that there's PC performance issues, there's low FPS on console, there's stuttering, there's stuck unpacking slowly, which is unpacking preloaded games is a normal process on Steam, but some players have experienced an issue with Star Wars Jedi Survivor unpacking extremely slowly. And then there's people being stuck on the loading screen, optimizing game files, another issue on PC. There's screen tearing, cutscene bugs, I mentioned some of mine earlier on in this video. There's crashing, broken HDR, again something I highlighted, HDR settings reverting, your game failed a launch error, the game cannot be streamed live Xbox bugs, so a lot of stuff that's gonna have to be fixed inevitably, but who knows how long this is going to take. And if it's not clear, I know I haven't said this, but this is definitely a wait. Wait on this game if you're excited for it. Do not play this right now. Electronic Arts and Respawn Entertainment truly do not deserve your money with how they launched this game. And look, every post that EA Star Wars right now is posting, it's pretty much, yeah, oh, look, the game's broken, PS5 HDR. Yeah, broken here. I'll wait till it works. Any performance patch soon for consoles? Is there a patch for the console versions? I'm on PS5 and on the performance node. Not only do I see pixelation, but a lot of screen tearing, which should not be the case. It's time to fix your game and not blame PC players, and it goes on and on and on. This is a launch disaster. The game is broken, and we're gonna have to deal with this for now, but I do think that the backlash that EA is experiencing is more than warranted and deserved, because this is unacceptable, but this is the nature of the AAA games industry, and things seriously do have to change. They probably won't, but they do need to change. I am happy that since the Cyberpunk debacle a couple of years ago, we have seen reviewers, such as mostly YouTube reviewers, get a lot better about calling this stuff out. The reviewing outlets, the Kotakus, GameSpots, IGNs, I don't know how none of this really got highlighted in their reviews. There really wasn't that much mention of performance issues. There was, yeah, there's some bugs and stuff, but I mean, every game has bugs and stuff. I just feel like that a lot of these outlets once again did a disservice to their audience, their reading audience, with not bringing this stuff up, and it really doesn't put enough pressure on the publishers to get this stuff right before launch, because again, you're asking people to cough up a decent amount of cash, and yet here we are with another launch disaster. And I do think that the reviewers, the press, plays a part in all of this. But anyway, what do you make of Star Wars Jedi Survivor? Have you played it? Have you experienced any of the issues? Are you one of the lucky ones that right now is having a smooth time? Let me know down in the comment section below, but thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy this video, or if you found any informative value, and consider subscribing for more videos like this, and I'll see you later.